Miller Podcast Special Edition Show. My 2024 trade deadline recap show. There were a lot of trades today. No monster splashes per se. No big names dealt like last year at Kevin Durant and a couple years ago at James Harden. But there were some impactful trades for sure. We will go over all the trades that happened today. So since we last recorded, this was yesterday, the T-Wolves, acquire, Monty Morris, and they sent a 2030 second rounder to the Pistons with Shake Milton and Troy Brown as a part of the deal. So the T-Wolves get some much-needed depth there. So a trade that happened this morning, I'll admit defeat because I did not think that this particular player was getting dealt because he's been so many rumors. And the team's good. The team that traded him away is good. But the team that's acquiring him, I think he'll have an impact. And that's Buddy Hield of the Indiana Pacers, as he's traded to the Philadelphia 76ers for Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, and 3 second-round picks. That's a lot for Buddy Hield. But the Sixers are desperate, and they are a team that needs bodies with Joel Embiid out. And I like Buddy Hield. It's just that he lost playing time in Indiana because they're going with all the young guys, and they have a lot of depth at the guards. So they didn't really need Buddy Hield. I think Buddy Hield's going to be great with Philly. I give the Sixers an A for this deal. And then Indy, I really don't love it for them. So I'd say Indy gets a C here. So, and then this is a weird one. The Jazz trade Kelly Olynyk and Ochai Agbaji to the Raptors for Kira Lewis, Otto Porter, and a 2024 first-round pick. And the first-round pick will be the least favorable of OKC, Clippers, Rockets, Jazz. I like this deal for both sides. Utah gets a pick for Agbaji and Olynyk. Kira Lewis is good too. I like Porter. And who knows, maybe Olynyk gets bought out by the Raptors. And Agbaji's a good young player, so I don't hate that trade for Utah. I like it better for Utah than I do for the Raptors. Just a little bit, but not a bad deal for either side, nevertheless. I was wrong about this particular player. I thought he was going to get bought out, but he actually got traded for something. The Thunder acquired Gordon Hayward from the Charlotte Hornets as Trey Mann and Davis Bertans go to Charlotte. Interesting trade for OKC. They get a veteran that's been in a lot of big games. And then Bertans is probably going to get bought out. And the Sixers traded Donnell House to the Pistons and the 2024 second-round pick via Knicks. So that's a weird one for Detroit. And the Sixers, obviously, this move gives them the salary cap cushion to potentially acquire Kyle Lowry, who is probably going to get bought out by Charlotte. Kyle Lowry on Philly would be a great addition, and Lowry's going to be motivated because he got traded from the Heat. So a big trade between the Knicks and the Pistons as the Knicks acquire Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks from the Pistons. Evan Fournier, Malachi Flynn, Quentin Grimes, and 2 future seconds go to Detroit in the trade. I like it for the Knicks. I like Bogdanovic. I think he's a really good player. He'll be in their starting lineup for now until Julius Randle comes back. Then he'll be a super duper above average bench player. Like, 6th man of the year worthy type of guy for the Knicks, as they help replace the offense that they lost to quickly. And then excuse me. Alec Burks used to be on the Knicks. So we know what he is and what he can do. And then Grimes, I like that for Detroit, getting Quentin Grimes. And Malachi Flynn, too, who was in the Raptors trade. And then they get 2 seconds. So I like it for the Knicks because of Bogdanovic's presence. But I like it for the Pistons also because of Quentin Grimes. So I'm going to say a B+ for the Knicks and a B for the Pistons. I like it for both teams. Oh, and then Ryan Arcidiacono is also in that trade to Detroit. So that's a big one that went down today. The Wizards trade Daniel Gafford to the Dallas Mavericks for Richaun Holmes and a 2024 first-round pick. I like it for Dallas. I like Daniel Gafford. I actually wondered that on the trade deadline preview show I did, whether Gafford was in play to get traded or not. So that is an interesting one. One more thing for the Thunder Hayward deal is the Thunder included Vasilij Micic and draft compensation in the Charlotte deal. Dennis Schroeder to Brooklyn for Spencer Dinwiddie. There's somebody else in that trade too. I can't. Oh yes, Thad Young. Thad Young also in the deal. Dinwiddie dealt again, which doesn't surprise me. Schroeder on Brooklyn. Schroeder's probably going to get bought out. Same with Thad Young. I wouldn't be shocked if all 3 of those guys got bought out by the Raptors and the Nets, respectively. That's a weird one. How about this? The Charlotte Hornets trade P.J. Washington to the Mavs for Grant Williams, Seth Curry, and the first-round pick. I like that for both teams. Charlotte getting a first for P.J. Washington plus a veteran in Grant Williams, who really did not work for Dallas. And then Seth Curry, who's bounced around a lot. I like Seth Curry. He's probably going to get bought out. And then Charlotte gets a first in that deal too. So I like it for Charlotte. I don't hate it for Dallas, although Dallas is admitting defeat on Grant Williams in that trade. So I think that's a B+ for Charlotte. I like it a little better for Charlotte because they get a first out of it. And then P.J. Washington going to Dallas, I think that's a B. So lightly protected 2027 first-round pick in the trade to Charlotte. The Sixers trade Patrick Beverley to the Bucks, as the Bucks are sending 2027 second-round pick to the Sixers in the deal. I actually like that for Milwaukee. Even though Patrick Beverley and Damian Lillard used to have beef, seems like that's hashed out now. And Milwaukee gets some depth there, so I like that trade for Milwaukee. The Spurs trade Doug McDermott to Indy for a second. I think I had Doug McDermott to Golden State or something on the podcast yesterday, but I know I had him traded. I like that pickup for Indiana as a bench guy to into the game against other teams' second units and hit threes. The Bucks trade Robin Lopez to the Kings, but Robin Lopez is expected to be waived, so he'll be picked up by somebody, maybe the Knicks, I could see, or Boston. The Sixers trading Jaden Springer to the Celtics for a second-round pick, so the Sixers really starting to clear some cap, so they're going after a buyout guy. They're clearly going for Kyle Lowry. Celtics trade Delano Banton to the Trailblazers for a heavily protected second-round pick. So Boston obviously making some small moves. So that's really it for... Oh, one more trade we missed. Corey Joseph to Indy for a second from Golden State. So Indy gets some depth. So Philly also gets Cam Payne in the Pat Beverly deal. Oh, so I missed a Brooklyn Phoenix trade. Royce O'Neal and David Roddy. Memphis gets a pick swap, and then Brooklyn gets 3 second-round picks. So Brooklyn getting some assets for Royce O'Neal. Memphis gets a pick swap for David Roddy, which is interesting. So that's really it for trade deadline. Okay, so now I'm going to go team by team and go winner or loser. Atlanta, loser. They did not trade DeJounte Murray. That's an automatic loser. Boston. Right now, I'd say loser. Because it looks like Philadelphia's getting Kyle Lowry. And Boston. Although you could argue winner for Boston. They got Xavier Tillman, who will help. So actually, I'm going to change my stance on Boston. They're a winner. I forgot about Xavier Tillman. So that we're just going to do overall trades. Even the trades that happened before this week. Brooklyn, loser, because I think they could have gotten more for some of their guys. And if I were them, I would have tested the waters for see what they could have gotten from Mikal Bridges. Charlotte, winner. I think they had a good deadline, personally. So, I would say winner for Charlotte. Chicago, loser, because they did not make a trade. And they sat on their ass and did nothing, and they're not going anywhere. Cleveland, that's a hard one, but I'm going to say loser. I just feel like they didn't get better. Dallas, winner. I don't hate PJ Washington. I think he's a good player. Denver, loser. I just don't think that they did enough to improve, but I think the West has gotten better with the Clippers' emergence and such. But they could still absolutely win the title with what they have. Detroit, winner. I thought they did a good job in the Bogdanovich deal, getting Quentin Grimes. And I think that they have some other intriguing young guys as well. Golden State, loser. I don't think they did enough to improve their chances of getting back to the finals. The Houston Rockets, loser. I think they could have traded Reggie Bullock. I think that they could have done some other things as well. The Indiana Pacers. I actually don't hate what they did. I'm going to say winner because they got a lot back for Buddy Hield. The Los Angeles Clippers. loser because, and again, that's not to say that they can't win the title, but I think that they could have done more to improve their chances. Lakers, loser. They didn't do anything, so they're an automatic loser. The Memphis Grizzlies, winner. Getting the pick swap for Brody was pretty good. And listen, they were in a weird place anyway, so I can't really criticize them for not doing a lot. Okay, the Miami Heat. Winners, they got Terry Rozier. That's a guy that I think will help them. He's better right now than Kyle Lowry. And this is still the Miami Heat that is always dangerous. They have the best head coach in the NBA. And they have a guy in Jimmy Butler that is proven to be the best guy on finals teams. So, I say Miami's a winner with the Rozier trade. The Milwaukee Bucks. This might be unpopular, but I'm going to say winner. Patrick Beverley, I think, is a good pickup for them. He's somebody, if I'm not mistaken, I think he played for Doc Rivers with the Clippers. So it's a little reunion there. And he is better than Campaign. So I think Milwaukee's a winner. Minnesota, loser. They could have done more. I don't hate the pickup for Monty Morris, but I think they could have done better. The New Orleans Pelicans. Loser. I just don't really love that they really didn't improve their team. So I'm going to say loser. New York Knicks, winner. And monster winner, I may add. OG Anunoby, obviously, was the big headliner. They did that right before New Year's. And then they got Bojan Bogdanovic today from the Pistons, which gives them another shooter. And he's going to be a bench player once Julius Randle comes back, which is insane. Now they have a lot of flexibility, the Knicks. I think that the Knicks can make the Eastern Finals, which is absurd, you would think. And there's some people that think that they could go to the finals, which, God, the Knicks fan in me wants to believe that, but it's hard to fathom. It's really hard to fathom because of all the years that they've fallen short in the Carmelo era. And in this new era, they're a fun team. They're a better team with some of the ads they've made. But it's still the Knicks. Like, there's more talented teams in the East. Boston, Milwaukee, Miami, Philly, Cleveland when everybody's healthy. Arguably. But maybe I'm underselling the Knicks. Maybe I am. But they're a better team today than they were 24 hours ago. And they're a better team now, way better team now than they were at the start of the season. So they are absolutely a winner today. The Oklahoma City Thunder, controversial but loser. Yeah, they get Gordon Hayward, but they really needed a big man, and they did not get a big man. The Magic, losers. They just sat on their ass and did nothing, and they could have made themselves a better team and given a crap. They're headed for the play-in tournament, I think. The Sixers, I'm going to say winner. I love the Buddy Hield ad. I know they gave up a lot to get him, and they might get Kyle Lowry, and maybe Embiid's back sooner than expected. So I actually don't hate what Philadelphia did today and prior to the trade deadline. So I'm going to give them as a winner. The Suns, I'm going to say they're a winner too. I don't hate the Royce O'Neal addition. He's going to be a good bench guy for them. So I like that for the Suns. And then they get David Roddy, too, which is a really good ad. So I like what the Suns did today, so they're a winner. Portland, loser. Malcolm Brogdon's still on the Blazers. So they're a loser. And they could have gotten something for him. They could have gotten something even for Robert Williams, who's hurt. The Sacramento Kings, loser. I feel like they could have done a lot to make themselves better, to try to go for a top 3 seed in the West, but to me, they're a loser. The San Antonio Spurs, loser. They got rid of some guys, but that was expected. They were a little bit in a rough spot. I was just hoping that they would get themselves a point guard and actually try to improve themselves. The draft stinks this year anyway. So I'm going to say the Spurs are a loser. The Toronto Raptors, winners. They got a lot for Siakam and Anunoby. Another reason why Indy's a winner is because they got Siakam, duh. But Toronto's a winner. They got a lot for Siakam and OG. And they got, I think they did really well in that Jazz trade today. So I'm going to say the Raptors are a winner. I think the Jazz are a winner too. I don't hate the Kira Lewis pickup. And they got a first-round pick in that trade too, if I'm not mistaken. So I really like what the Jazz did today. So I'm going to say they're a winner. And then the Wizards are a loser. Tyus Jones is still on the team. Kyle Kuzma's still on the team. Jordan Poole's still on the team. And they're just god-awful. So the Wizards, to me, are a loser. So there you have it for the 2024 trade deadline recap show. Can't wait to look back on this and see how right or wrong I am with my takes with these trades and such. So hope you guys have a great day, everybody.